Я люблю Маріуполь.
I love Mariupol. I love it as it was before February the 24th. Cool, cozy, pleasant, with a lot of interesting things. That's how Mariupol was for me. From February the 24th till February the 27th, I was trying to convey something in live broadcast to people who might have watched me. My work was right in the center of the city. Yes, there were explosions. There were threats and strange calls from people saying, stop broadcasting in Ukrainian and switch to Russian. If you don't switch to Russian, you'll be killed like pigs. Then the lights started to go out, and then they turned them off altogether.
Я с родителями и с детьми мы находились в подвале.
Me, my parents and kids were in the basement. At 7 o'clock in the morning, everybody's ready. We go out and go to the store, and then the bombing starts. And the parents with the bags were behind us with the kids, and it slowed them down. I turn around and I say to them, sit down. Then I see it settle down a little bit. I say, get up, and we run on. We hear the shelling again. I turn around and say, sit down. After that, I don't see them. It was a long distance. I have a 6-year-old child on the one hand. He was crying, I don't want to go anywhere. And older child next to me has a heart condition and says, Mom, I'm suffocating. I'm going to die here. And I say to him, you will not die here. 2 children, 2 parents, and me alone, exhausted, hungry, and cold. I weighed 36 pounds. My stomach was sunken. My lips were chapped because there was no water. We tried to drink water from the radiator, from the boiler. I had no energy. I had no strength. I look at Tim's eldest son. I always consult with him about what to do. And I say, I'll leave you here now. I'll run after my parents. Mom, what if there's an explosion? It's a very cruel decision. I'm standing there with tears in my eyes. Who am I gonna save? If I run after my parents now, all 4 of them will be orphans without me. It was hell. We came to Volodyarsk. There were a lot of people there who do not live day by day on the bus, but who sit and wait for a bus for weeks. There were 2 trips, to Donetsk and to Rostov. We were standing there and watching. My oldest son, me, and my youngest son, who didn't understand what was going on. I said, Tim, what were we supposed to do? Look how many people are there. And he said, Mom, let's go eat and sleep here. And I said, no, son, no. There's something wrong here. There'll be inspections and they won't let me out. I used to work for a TV channel. What should I do? And then a stern-looking woman walks in and says, I need a woman with 2 children. I need to successfully pass the checkpoints. Then my son pulls me and says, Mom, there are 2 of us and you. Let's go. We ran up to her. I say, take us, please. I don't have any money. I don't have anything. She says, don't need anything. Get in. We go to the minibus. We just get on the seats and she says, no, in the trunk. I didn't care whether it was in the trunk or on the wheel, so we get to Donetsk. And she asks, do you have a place to stay here? I say no. And then she says, well, I guess you should move away from me because I see you working on some TV channel. I don't want any trouble. I have a friend from Moscow. Thank God he's paying for the ticket. I arrived in Moscow, stayed there for 2 days. He bought me tickets to Berlin. I get on a fancy bus with the kids. 20 minutes I ride it, and then the FSB picks me and the kids up. They take the kids one way and me the other, and they say it's just a formality, just a check. And I tell them that if it's just a check, why did they take my kids the other way? When we arrive at the department, I hold on with all my might, because I realized that if I start crying now, the situation will not be solved. I wasn't even crying. They took me to their office and started asking stupid questions. Did you see Azov? Where did they shoot from? Oh, we have tattoos. Then they stripped me down to my underwear. I'm sitting there in my underwear and I say, guys, I have nothing to tell you. All this time from February the 24th to March the 22nd, I had the goal to keep my family alive. But in the evening, he let us go and I said, give me the children, take everything. By the way, he played for a very long time, just some kind of abuse. He first gave me the documents, I put out my hand to take them, and he'd take them away. And he'd take them away 3 or 4 more times. It must have been fun for him to make a joke out of it. I finally started crying. I come out of the office and I see my youngest son sitting there. The oldest son is sitting there covered in blood. I thought I was losing consciousness. My son, nervous that something might happen to me, ripped out all of the cuticles on his fingers. I'm taking the kids. No money, no food, but with the kids and my documents. The warden puts me on a shabby bus to Berlin. We rode for 2 days, hungry. As I remember now, there was a woman at one of the gas stations. I said, please, give me at least a bun. I just don't have any money. I'll give it to you. In Berlin, I calmed down a little bit. And on the second day I realized that my parents stayed in Mariupol, so I had to do something. No volunteers agreed to take them out. Or they agree, but then they say they don't go to the addresses. This is a unique case. They are deaf-mute. But people kept saying they should know there's an evacuation in the city. I said they can't hear. Nothing is being relayed to them. I'm begging you, that's downtown. That's definitely where you go. There's a house right by the road. They're alone in that house. You don't even need any physical signs. They are deaf-mute. You can see them right away. None of the volunteers agreed. And only after one of the journalists made an interview with me, Gennady Stambula, the next day Dima Monatik, a Ukrainian pop singer, called me. Journalists somehow contacted him and Monatik called me. We didn't discuss any evacuation plan. There was just a question about where the parents are, and he immediately replies, based on the video I saw where I previously translated what they are showing me in gestures, are they still there as well? I say yes. He says, I got it all figured out. I know what deaf mutes are like. I have a grandmother and a girlfriend like that myself. We'll do everything we can to unite you. And the next day I get a call from a volunteer saying, I'm ready to pick them up. Where to go? I'm meeting them in Kyiv. We're reunited. They are all together and everything is fine. But in Berlin, I got very sick. I was lying down. And I remember that my son comes in and says, are you ill again? And I'm lying there and I can't do anything. I didn't know what to do. And my son says to me, Mom, do you want some food? Mom, should we go for a walk? I thought for the kids' sake we should take a walk so they can see the city. And I'm walking. I don't feel anything. I don't want anything. I didn't know what to do. My life was ruined.